Real Madrid 3, Borussia Dortmund 2 then is how it finishes. Real Madrid then to face PSG in the semi-finals. Jan's still with us. Overall, Robert, what was interesting about this is that at 2-0 it was done and dusted. You just kind of thought, oh, and so did Real Madrid, obviously.
It was, and they made substitutions, and Dortmund didn't look as though they were going to get back into the game. They had 1 or 2 opportunities, but they were playing too slowly. They had no real penetration with their play. Real Madrid were controlling the ball. They brought on Mbappe, who obviously went and scored the 3rd goal. And I saw a lot about Real Madrid today, which I hadn't seen in the other games. There was a lot of positional rotation. At any time, if you took a photo of the team, you could say, well, what shape are they playing? Where's Valverde playing? Right. Where's Alexander-Arnold at one point was playing as the 3rd centre-half, and Valverde was playing as the wing-back. And Keller at one point was the holding midfield player. Tchouameni likewise. So there was lots of good things about Real Madrid.
You're excited about
I was excited by the way they played and the sort of rotation of their formation.
And they had gone a long stretch without conceding a goal as well at that stage. And you thought, okay, is this the Real Madrid that can find the right balance?
I don't know who they played, Kasey.
Well,
sorry.
But when you
positive,
you want to see them to be able to, because what do you want to see from great teams? You want to see them be able to look very exciting, attacking, but also be able to keep a clean sheet. And you thought, okay, is this Real Madrid now kind of turning that corner where they're scoring goals? They're pressing higher up the pitch. They look like they're engaged. They're defending well, and then a poor clearance from Rudiger, good finish, and then it blows up.
Yeah, it did blow up indeed. I don't know if you know, Ali, I used to live in Madrid.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yes, and I used to work for Real Madrid, and part of my job was covering the second team, where you'd see a lot of these youngsters shining brightly. Scoring 20, 25 goals for Real Madrid Castilla, given a chance in the first team, never really made that. And that would be the same sort of story when it came to pre-season. You'd see something and be like, wow, these are going to be big hitters when the real stuff starts, and it never happened. They would go to the back of the queue, Raul, Ronaldo, Van Nistelrooy, or whoever it was, would go to the front. Obviously, the story, if you're looking at this from the outside in, is, oh, wow. Gonzalo Garcia is making Xabi Alonso have a tough decision here between him and Kylian Mbappe.
Okay.
I don't think there is going to be.
That obviously isn't the story.
Right.
What the story is to me as to whether or not this kid is good enough to make an impact next season, to be part of the squad, and how do we know until we get to the real deal? Or is this the real deal enough to be able to judge him?
I would
say,
what
a long question.
Yes.
With a lot of me involved.
Well worded. I would say that this is the real deal enough to judge him as a player.
Right.
And it's not just because of the goals. His movement, the hold-up play, the combination play. If you see the second goal from Fran Garcia, it's actually Gonzalo who throws himself out into a wide area and has 2 combinations in which he picks not only the right pass, but plays it with the right pace. Tells me that this is not just a kid that is thinking about goals. He has concept about the game and what his role is within the team. He has been given the confidence by Xabi Alonso to say, well, go out there. Maybe because they didn't have a choice. Because obviously Kylian Mbappe out with the stomach bug or whatever he's got going on. All right, he can't play. Ay, Gonzalo. Xabi Alonso could not have known and could not have expected that this would be the performance from Gonzalo Garcia. And what I would suggest is that the performances beyond the goals is what has made it even more impressive. That he understands the role of the striker playing in a front 2 actually better than Vini does and better than Mbappe does. His movement off the ball makes the job for everybody else around him easier, and it makes it clear for the passer of the ball where he wants it. Just deliver the pass. He's willing to run into the channels. He's been great.
Robert's talked about coaching before. And when you were coaching, you got on really well with the youngsters. It was the veterans who didn't like your attitude and the way you spoke to them and your man management.
Man management skills.
So you must have seen, maybe not this sort of standard, but players who shone at training, shone in the reserves.
Yep.
But when it came to the big time, they didn't quite cut it.
Didn't quite have enough.
What are we seeing here that we can read into it as Ali is?
Well, his understanding of where to be, because today he was playing almost in a front 2, but they were playing as a wide front 2. So he had to make runs out wide, as he did for the second goal, but he also got himself into the box at the right time. He had to also realise when Bellingham was going to make the run through them, because Bellingham's playing as the furthest forward midfield player and playing, we wouldn't call it false 9, but the attacking midfield. So he's got to open up space for him as well. He's got to link up with him. So there was enough. He's got enough pace. There was one run that he made in behind. He's obviously fairly good in the air. We saw that in the previous game where he heads in from Alexander-Arnold's cross. He's in the right place at the right time with his movement in the box. So he's got a lot of things that are going for him. he's playing with confidence at the moment, and that's the one thing. When players start to play at the top level and you have a bad spell, can you keep the confidence there? Does it knock your confidence so much that you can't carry on playing?
Yeah.
When things are going well, you look at top-class player, and you never judge anybody by their top performance or their bottom performance. You judge it by the average, and that's what we haven't seen yet because he's done very well in these games.
Jan, as a fellow striker, do you like what you're seeing? Are you seeing enough?
Yeah, I'm part of Al's striking union, and we saw the same thing. And why is these movements so important? Because I think that we can see small signs now that I will never criticize Ancelotti. He's one of the best around, but I can see now there's a bit difference of the Real Madrid. For Gonzalo's runs, make it easier for the other ones to make their runs and make the game, the play of Real Madrid more flexible. And we can say that this was only Dortmund. Dortmund haven't lost a game for 12 games. They haven't had a loss. And in the first half today was brilliant. And Gonzalo, I was ending up just watching his runs because they were very, very clever. He took his goal brilliantly. Yes, it was not the best of defending by Dortmund, but still you have to do those runs. You have to put yourself in that position. I think that when you come in as a coach and to Robbo's analysis saying that, yeah, he has to go through a bad spell and all that. But the positive thing now for Alonso is when he comes into a new club, there is always a chance for someone else to shine. And you will have players, hopefully, 1 or 2 or 3, that will take the next step, that will kind of understand the way Alonso wants his game. And as for now, Gonzalo is one of those, wow, he has understood it. He understands the pressure. He understands that he has to make runs to open up for all the other good players that need space. Imagine Alexander-Arnold. What has he got to do with Gonzalo up front there? Yes, but because he will make runs, take people away, so it's easier for him to make his crosses. So everything depending on each other. And yes, Gonzalo, I think there is a chance that Mbappe will start ahead of him. But I think that Gonzalo absolutely can have this joker challenging part of the start of the La Liga season.
Here's the thing. Nobody's expecting anything from Gonzalo.
No, it's nice. It's when you set the bar so low. That's what this show does, okay? No one expects much from us.
It's a perfect place to be in because if Real Madrid doesn't do well, it's not because Gonzalo didn't do well.
Yeah.
We're going to be looking at Kylian Mbappe. We're going to be looking at Vini and Bellingham. And you got to go really far down this list when we get to it was Gonzalo's fault.
Sure.
And so anything that you get from Gonzalo Garcia, if you're Xabi Alonso, it's a plus. Yeah. It's a win.
Ollie, we have a much better chance of the Valencia fans saying when he's on loan.
Right.
How come he didn't score for us like he did in the Club World Cup?
Before I show you the odds, who is the favourite between PSG and Real Madrid, would you say, Kasey?
Oh, wow. I think it's a coin toss.
You think so?
I do.
You think so?
I do.
Let's take a look. Let's see how they have them set. I would expect it to be PSG, given their run of late. Obviously, slight favourites, but as Kasey says, it is pretty much a coin toss as to who will advance to the next round. Any early thoughts? We've got plenty of time to talk about this. You don't have to.
I'm looking forward to it. I think PSG. I hope PSG play better than they did today. I hope they play as we've seen them play in previous games. I know it was against Inter Miami where the first 60, 70 minutes they were absolutely magnificent. The pace of their game, the midfield rotation, Fabian Ruiz making forward runs, Hakimi down the right-hand side, good defending, pressing the ball all over the field. And I'd like to see Real Madrid again with this sort of rotating positions. You know, it's very, very difficult to pin down exactly what formation they're playing. I was looking at it very closely today. Tchouameni sometimes went back in there. As I said, Alexander went back to the third centre-half. They did all sorts of things. Goulet, who would have said Goulet at times would be a holding midfield player when you saw him over the last 2 or 3 years? And then when the substitutes were made, he went back out to the right wing again. So, I mean, excited by the game.
Yeah. A game, of course, you're going to New York for.
Yes.
Do you know how you're getting there yet?
No, not yet, no.
Right, good. How are you feeling about that?
I'm quite happy. I might get the train with Ali.
Hey!
Just a reminder, 380 La Liga matches live and exclusive for you on ESPN Plus as the season starts on August 15th. For Real Madrid, they'll start on a Tuesday at home against Osasuna.